envoy. From Vijay Mallya's passport suspension to the NIT protest shifting to Delhi, the most articulate political voices are on our show, New Kids on the Block, which showcases the next generation of politicians. Here are the top stories they will be reacting to today. From Jammu and Kashmir, the NIT students have now moved their protesting ground to Jantar Mantar. Their meetings with central ministers this week didn't help their demand for moving NIT out of the state, but the students have help from political parties like ABVP and the NSUI. Government says they're working out a resolution package that will be acceptable to all, but will they be able to balance the sentiments of their alliance partners, the PDP? Billionaire MP Vijay Mallya has got bad news now, with the government announcing that his passport is now suspended. Soon it will be cancelled. The decision has been taken after he failed to show up despite several summons to appear before the Enforcement Directorate. The government was first accused of allowing him to leave, with CBI saying they knew that he was going. But is this latest step a sign of zero tolerance? The odd-even scheme for pollution busting has begun again in Delhi, and while the Mexican envoy is exempted, she doesn't need to because her diplomatic vehicle is a CNG auto. She told NDTV that it allows her to have a smaller carbon footprint, and she can then ride the talk. But can our VIPs set such an example? So we have the left, we have the right, we also have the Congress joining us from the Bangalore Centre. So we'll be going to that. But first, our first debate is about NIT students and whether their demands are reasonable or not. And for that, let's just go across to Rajat Srivastav, who is an NIT student who's left campus. Among the 1,000 plus who've left the campus, they've come to Delhi now. They're protesting here. The protests were here today as well. Both parties, ABVP and NSUI, have also joined them in their protests. So, Rajat, first to you, your demands that you're making over here, the government has already said that they can't shift out NIT. How are you changing your demands now? What do you expect?
Since the government has said that we can't shift the NIT from Srinagar to any other part of India, because Srinagar and Kashmir itself is a very, very integral part of India. So now we students are changing our strategies and reformulating the plans, saying to the government that okay, we agree to that, and then let's place a flag, national tricolor on the campus, so that it sends a strong message to the entire world that okay, it still is and it will always be an integral part of the country.
Okay, ABVP, I want to take this to you. You have backed them even on campus in Srinagar. ABVP members were there throughout it all. Many people felt that you were making things a little more complicated and politicizing it. Now, right now, they are disagreeing with what the HRD ministry is saying. The HRD ministry is not accepting. So, are you all protesting against your own government?
First of all, we are with the students of NIT Srinagar in all times. They have done a commendable job. I salute all of them and I really congratulate them for what they have done. Number one. Are we against the BJP government? Well, at many times, ABVP has opposed the BJP government, be that on the issue of the non-net fellowship, be that on the issue of Nirbhaya episode. So we have been opposing the BJP. On this, we are very clear. We agree to most of the demands that these students have raised, except for shifting the campus out of the valley. Barring that, we agree and we support them in all their legitimate demands.
Even in the one about asking for security for just the non-locals.
See, first of all, this is not the I disagree with the usage of the word locals or non-locals. This is a fight between the nationalists and non-nationalists.
Isn't that the term used by the students themselves?
Maybe, but if Miss Sucheta Day, who is also a non-local person, if she goes there, she will not be threatened there. But if someone carrying the flag of India, if he or she goes to the valley, then they are threatened. So it's not a battle of local versus non-local, Kashmiri versus non-Kashmiri. It's a fight between nationalists versus non-nationalists.
Okay, your 1 minute is up on that. 200. What's perhaps important to point out to all our viewers is that while a lot of the students have left, there are still 200 students back there on campus who are not from Kashmir. They're still there. They're giving their exams fine. So, Sucheta, I want to ask you, as a left representative, what do you make of the way that ABVP and NSUI has got involved in this entire controversy?
ABVP and NSUI have every right to get involved because unlike Venkaiah Naidu, we do believe that students have a right to do politics, even AVP does have. But one thing I want to point out is the issue is much larger, and unless we address those larger issues, I do not think we are going to find any solution of the NIT issue. Right now in Kashmir, the Handwara killings that have happened, 4 people have been killed because they were protesting against molestation. The minor girl and her father has been detained. And this is not the first time. This is the normalcy in Kashmir, that on any protest on basic issues of rights and dignities, whenever the Kashmiris try to protest, there are firing on them, and there is absolutely no inquiry on who has killed,
so how does
who
that
has
link up
raped.
to this?
So what I am saying is, Gaurav very simplistically called it, it's a contradiction between the nationalist and the anti-nationalist. Most probably what he wants to say, that most of the Kashmiris who express this sense of alienation, this express of protest, most probably he is trying to call them anti-nationalists. But on the question of NIT, I think, and that is how I think these larger issues of equality, of dignity, of security of the Kashmiris have to be addressed.
Okay.
If you want
Have
to
to be addressed.
reduce the alienation of the so-called locals and the non-locals.
So Rajat Srivastava, do you want to respond to that? That you haven't responded in the right way, that even though they may not have a tricolor, as you were pointing out, that there is also a context to that.
The only context is that because as you are saying that it's a contest between locals or non-locals or Kashmiris or non-Kashmiris, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. Most of the students who have come here, they have come just for their academic justice, because they are students first, and our first religion is only our studies and our education. Right. So for that we just want to stick to that first of all we get a proper conducive academic environment. Right. And that also with the coupled with the feeling that okay, we are still in a very integral territory of India.
Do you think it will get resolved soon? Your final
Yeah,
question?
definitely. We are moving in a very good direction with our honorable Minister of HRD. She is very cooperative and she has listened very patiently.
Okay,
yeah.
Time's up for this debate. Now let's move on to the second debate, the second big story of the day, which is that the government moved today to suspend loan defaulter Vijay Mallya's passport. This means his stay in the UK will be illegal and he could face deportation. The BJP is touting this as their tough position, but the Congress points out a contradiction. Take a look.
सुषमा स्वराज जी ने ललित मोदी के पासपोर्ट को क्यों नहीं रद्द किया? सवाल यह है कि विजय माल्या को पहले कथाकथित तौर पे भगाओ. अगर सरकार इतनी ही संवेदनशील थी तो यहां से भाग कैसे गए? और विजय माल्या का तो पासपोर्ट आपने सस्पेंड कर दिया, और ललित मोदी जिसका पासपोर्ट सस्पेंडेड था उसको आप ट्रैवल पेपर्स दे रहे थे.
ABVP, please respond to what he says.
See, the two cases are completely different. The question is whether the taxpayers' money was used or not. In the case of Lalit Modi, he took the money from BCCI, a private, which is a company or whatever corporation board, and in this case, he had taken money from SBI. He took the money and other banks. He took the money during the UPA regime. The government of India at that point of time did nothing. When the new government came into the power, we kept on asking the SBI to demand their money. We kept on pressurizing them. The CBI intervened, and we kept on upping up the pressure on the banks to demand the money. Finally, now this person is saying that I'll pay 4,000 rupees. Then he said I'll pay 6,000 rupees. So there has been a definite work, and this posture, this gesture that the BJP government has taken shows the tough stand of the BJP.
Okay, NSUI, please respond to that, because a lot of the cases, both in Vijay Mallya's case and that of, as they were pointing out, Lalit Modi, they go back much before 2014.
Hello?
Yes, please respond.
Yeah, a farmer in Tirupur was harassed by a bank for not paying his EMI. But on the same day, Mr. Mallya had fled from the nation, who also met the top branch officials, and fled and left the nation.
Okay. Sujita, how do you as the left view this kind of posturing between the two parties?
That is what I was going to say, that the interest of the people of India are much beyond the dichotomy of Congress and BJP. And all of us know during APA regime what the UPA has done. They have also hands in, letting corporates go scot-free after siphoning of public money, and the BJP is also doing the same. One thing is very interesting, the BJP, which, poses itself to be a very strong government, to be very, very nationalistic, and their followers can kill, our student union leaders, our comrades, they can peel stones, but Vijay Mallya could very easily fled the country. And he went to the airport, and he had, he went through a flight. It was very easy. The Indian government is very much capable. The Indian government was very much capable of holding him back, but the Indian government didn't. So, that nationalism that the BJP and the ABVP want to teach us is, an attack, a high volt attack on the weakest of the people in country, say for like the tribals of Bastar or the student leaders.
Your 1 minute is up on that. Please respond. You have 30 seconds.
See, when he fled the country, he had not gone as a, he was not absconding, he had gone as a businessman who has not returned. So that's the basic point. And regarding the other point that she has raised, that we pelt stone, we blackmail or whatever, I simply don't think that
Dusu leader had said that JNU president should be killed.
He had not said he had not said this. That was a completely different thing which you had twisted out of the context.
I think so.
Sucheta, it is your student.
Okay, I'm asking you how it is relevant
because the Home Minister, it was not only about ABVP, the Home Minister, our MHRD, they all have given high voltage speeches during what was happening in JNU. The Home Minister,
what happened in JNU? Do you justify what had happened in JNU first, Sucheta?
So what were they trying to teach? This is the kind of nationalism all of us should.
The slogan that we raised in JNU.
But those,
let the NSUI also get a rebuttal in. Yeah, go ahead.
The NIT issue has been given such a flare up today because it has been a mere irresponsibility from the MHRD. Right when the problem has occurred, there was there was nobody from the MHRD to the NIT representing the MHRD.
But Mandan, we're talking, okay, but we're talking now about Vijay Mallya, which has nothing to do with. So no, I'm going to take away from that. I think we should just, you both made your point very clear on that, and perhaps it's for our people to decide now which argument they find much more cogent and solid. Our third topic, of course, we'll debate in just a bit after the break, but here's what it is. It's about an envoy, Mexican envoy, saying that she believes in greenness, she believes in a green world, and that's why she's really riding the talk. Take a look.
At the parliament, no three-wheelers are allowed in. So the people at the entrance were really, really nice, and they had a problem how to put together a diplomatic car, an ambassador, and a three-wheeler.
Welcome back on New Kids on the Block. We're talking about the Odd and Even program which began today, and especially about the Mexican envoy who is exempt. But if you see those pictures of her, she has a diplomatic number plate auto because she wants to reduce her carbon footprint. And what I just wanted quick reactions from all our student leaders was, would our VIPs do the same? Would our netas do the same? What do you think, Sucheta?
I mean, they should do the same. I don't know why our leaders are so much afraid of the people.
They're all exempt, by the way.
And they're always afraid of the people that they need to, move around with convoy. But I think also what we need to talk about right now is, about this notion of development that, in cities where if there are not enough number of cars, if the streets are not flooded by private cars, we are not developed enough, and we are not, we do not look like London or America and all
cars
these things.
Cars
and
okay. What do you think?
Of course, we welcome such moves, and we believe that all the leaders should live a life of which is simplicity and humility. BJP or RSS, we are taught to live a very lead a simple life.
But how come they all get exemption, and despite exemption, even she gets exemption?
If we look at the example of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he sleeps at night during the flight time to save time and money, it's
about the carbon
nobody knows who's
it's not about
nobody
sleeping,
knows.
it's about
Excuse me, let me complete. Nobody knows what his family members are doing. They live a very simple life. Unlike Mr. Siddharamaiah in the Karnataka, we saw his own son getting a new contracts. Such things are happening. There is no
No
nepotism
one
in our.
says that the Prime Minister should take
There is no nepotism in our organization. There is no. Our leaders live a very simple life. Most of them, because that is what we talk in RSS.
Shall we hear what Manman has to say? Let's hear this. Manman, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah,
Our very own Prime Minister is only travelling in flights and only visiting other nations.
No, I wanted to ask you.
He's always on airplane.
Are some?
He's always on
do we
flight mode.
see some of the Congress ministers in Bangalore doing the same?
He wears a suit which is lakhs of rupees written Modi on it.
Manman, do the Congress
That has been
ministers
disputed.
travel like Aam Aadmis in Bangalore, in Karnataka?
Could you please come again, ma'am?
I'm saying, do the Congress ministers take public transport in Karnataka? Would they do this, what this Mexican envoy is doing?
Yeah, it was there before, but now due to security reasons, they will have to have the security.
Security is
Why doesn't the
always-
government invest much on public transport?
And there are leaders who also
There is not
also
enough
travel
number
in
of public buses in any
transport.
of the cities. That is what we need to address. We need buses, we need more metros, and we need public transport. That's it.
Well, perhaps what is great is that we hope that this story of the Mexican envoy trying to reduce her carbon footprint by, despite her exemption, still using an auto, a CNG auto, perhaps that should inspire other people as well, our netas as well. Thanks to all our student leaders, and the next episode of New Kids on the Block will come to you from Jadavpur University. All the student leaders from there. Remember, it's election season there. So we look forward to that. Join us on Monday. Goodbye.